Have you ever looked at a food and thought, wait, people actually eat that? Well, today I am going to show you some food that might make you feel exactly that way. I am in Vietnam, and I am going to buy some very ordinary Vietnamese food. Chicken feet, balut eggs, fresh vegetables, and shrimp paste. Now, if you are from the United States or another Western country, you may be wondering, what is balut? Well, balut is not a normal boiled egg. When you look at a regular boiled egg, you usually see a white egg white and a yellow yolk inside. Simple. You crack it open, you peel it, and you eat it. But balut is very different. A balut egg is a fertilized duck egg. The egg has been allowed to develop for a period of time before it is boiled and eaten. So when you open the shell, you don't just see a normal egg yolk. You can see the developing duck embryo inside. Yes, an actual developing duck. And this is probably the part that makes many foreigners say, "No way." For someone seeing balut for the first time, it can be a pretty shocking experience. You might see the little body, you might see the bones, you might even see the beak. And then you realize, I'm supposed to eat this? But here is the interesting part. For many Vietnamese people, balut is not strange at all. It is not some crazy food challenge. It is not something people eat just to scare foreigners. It is simply food. People eat balut with salt, pepper, herbs, and sometimes other ingredients. Some people eat it in the morning. Some people eat it as an evening snack. And some people grew up eating it with their family. So while you might look at it and think, that is disgusting, a Vietnamese person might look at it and think, oh, that's dinner. And then we have chicken feet. Yes, the feet of a chicken. In many Western countries, chicken is usually served as meat. Chicken breast, chicken wings, chicken legs. But in Vietnam, we don't always stop there. Chicken feet are also eaten. They can be boiled, grilled, cooked with sauce, or served as a snack. And honestly, they are much more popular than you might expect. But there is one more ingredient today that might be even harder for you: shrimp paste. It is made from tiny shrimp that are fermented with salt. And the smell, oh my goodness, it is very strong, very, very strong. Some Vietnamese people absolutely love it. But if you have never smelled shrimp paste before, you might want to leave the room. So today, I am going to the local market to buy all of these ingredients. And then I am going to bring them home, clean them, prepare them, cook them, and eat them. And I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. There is no way you're actually going to eat that balut. Well, let's go to the market and find out. Because what looks strange, scary, or even disgusting to you can sometimes be just another normal meal for someone else. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like in Vietnam. I am now heading to a local market in Vietnam. This is not a fancy supermarket. This is a real local market where people come every day to buy food for their families. You can find almost everything here: fresh vegetables, meat, fish, eggs, herbs, spices, and plenty of food that you may have never seen before. My first mission is to find the balut eggs, and honestly, I am curious to see how they look here. Here they are, balut eggs. They look pretty normal from the outside, just small eggs. If you didn't know what was inside, you might think they were regular duck eggs, but you already know what is waiting inside. And that's what makes them so interesting. I pick up a few eggs. Next, I need chicken feet. And here they are, a whole bunch of chicken feet. If this is your first time seeing them at a market, you might be thinking, why are there so many? Well, because Vietnamese people really do eat them. Chicken feet are popular as a snack. People eat them at restaurants. They eat them at street food stalls. And they often share them with friends. They are especially good with a spicy or salty sauce. So I choose some fresh chicken feet. Next, I need some vegetables. Vietnamese food usually comes with plenty of fresh herbs and vegetables. These help balance the flavors and make the meal feel fresh. So I pick up some vegetables to eat with the chicken feet and balut. And now, the final ingredient, Shrimp paste. Here it is. Even before I open the container, I already know this is going to smell strong. Shrimp paste is a traditional Vietnamese ingredient. It is made by fermenting small shrimp with salt. It has a very strong smell and a very strong flavor. For some people, that smell is amazing. For others, well, let's just say it takes some getting used to. I buy some shrimp paste, and now I have everything I need. Balut eggs, chicken feet, fresh vegetables, shrimp paste. Everything looks pretty normal right now, but wait until we get home, because the real story starts in the kitchen. I am finally back home, and now I need to prepare everything. Before we cook, I have to clean the ingredients carefully. First, the chicken feet. I wash them several times with clean water. I clean the skin. I remove anything that should not be there, and I make sure they are ready to cook. For me, this is just a normal part of preparing food. But if you are watching this from another country, you might be thinking, I'm watching someone clean chicken feet right now. Yes, you are, and this is completely normal in my kitchen. Now let's prepare the vegetables. I wash them carefully. Fresh vegetables are a big part of Vietnamese meals. They can add a little crunch, a little freshness, and a lot of flavor. Now, let's talk about the balut. This is probably the part you have been waiting for. The eggs are still in their shells. They look completely normal, and that's what makes balut so interesting. From the outside, it looks like an ordinary egg, but inside, it is completely different. When the egg has developed enough, you can see the duck embryo inside after you open it. For someone who has never seen this before, that can be a huge surprise. You might see the head, the body, the bones, and sometimes the little beak. And then you have to decide, am I really going to eat this? For Vietnamese people who grew up with balut, this isn't necessarily a big deal. It's just something they are familiar with, and that's an important part of food culture. We often think the food we grew up eating is normal, but when we travel to another country, suddenly everything looks different. Someone might look at Vietnamese food and say, that is strange. But a Vietnamese person might look at another country's food and say the exact same thing. So maybe food isn't really strange. Maybe we just aren't used to it. Now, there is one more ingredient, the shrimp paste. I'm opening it, and wow, that smell is powerful. If you have never tried fermented shrimp paste before, you might be surprised. It has a strong smell that fills the room very quickly. But Vietnamese people use it in many traditional dishes, and when it is mixed with the right ingredients, it can taste completely different from what you expect. So now everything is ready. The chicken feet are clean, the vegetables are ready, the balut eggs are ready, and the shrimp paste is waiting. Now, let's cook. The cooking starts now. First, I prepare the chicken feet. I put them into the pot and start cooking them. The goal is to make them soft and flavorful. While they are cooking, I prepare the other ingredients. The kitchen is starting to smell really good. And slowly, all the ingredients are coming together. This is something I really enjoy about cooking. At the beginning, you just have a few strange-looking ingredients on the table. But after you cook them, they start becoming a real meal. Now let's prepare the balut. I know some of you are probably still thinking, why would anyone eat that? And honestly, that's a fair question. If you didn't grow up eating it, it can look very strange. But imagine growing up in Vietnam. Your parents eat it. Your friends eat it. You see it at the market. You see it at street food stalls. You smell it. You taste it. Eventually, it just becomes normal. That's how food culture works. When you grow up with something, you don't think about it very much. You just think, that's food. And that's why I don't want this video to be about whether balut is good or bad. I want it to be about how different people experience food differently. What looks scary to you may feel completely familiar to someone else. What smells strange to you may smell delicious to someone else. And what you would never imagine eating may be someone's favorite childhood food. Now, the chicken feet are ready. The vegetables are ready. The balut eggs are ready. And the shrimp paste is on the table. Everything is finally here. This is the moment. I'm going to eat. And yes, I'm starting with the chicken feet. Okay, here we go. The chicken feet first. They are soft, they are flavorful, and honestly, they are really good. If you have never eaten chicken feet before, don't judge them only by how they look. There isn't a lot of meat on them, but the texture is part of the experience, and with the right sauce, they can be really delicious. Now, the moment you have all been waiting for, the balut. I'm opening the egg, and there it is. You can see why this might be shocking to someone seeing it for the first time. This is definitely not a normal boiled egg. You can see the developing duck inside. And yes, I'm going to eat it. For me, this isn't a crazy challenge. It's simply something people eat in Vietnam. I add a little salt and pepper. And now, let's try it. Honestly, it's not as scary as it looks. The flavor is rich, the egg is warm, and the combination of the yolk, the broth, and the other parts makes it very different from a regular egg. But I completely understand why someone seeing it for the first time might say, "No way." And now, the shrimp paste. This is probably the most dangerous ingredient for your nose. The smell is strong, very strong. But when you mix it with vegetables and the other ingredients, it becomes a very interesting flavor. Salty, rich, strong, and very Vietnamese. So, would I recommend these foods to everyone? Maybe not. But would I recommend trying something new? Absolutely. Because food is more than just food. Food tells a story. It tells us where people come from. It tells us about their families, their childhood, their traditions, and their everyday life. For someone watching this from the United States, chicken feet might look strange. Balut might look scary. Shrimp paste might smell terrible. And that's okay. You don't have to like everything. You don't even have to try everything. But maybe the next time you see food that looks strange, don't immediately say, "That is disgusting." Instead, ask yourself, is it really disgusting? Or is it just different from what I grew up eating? Because sometimes, the food that looks the strangest from the outside can be the most normal thing in someone else's life. For me, this isn't some crazy food challenge. This is just a normal meal in Vietnam. A trip to the local market, some fresh vegetables, some chicken feet, a few balut eggs, and a little shrimp paste. That's it. And that's what I love about living in Vietnam. You can walk into a local market, see something completely unfamiliar, and then realize, for someone else, it's just dinner. And who knows, maybe one day you'll come to Vietnam. Maybe you'll see a plate of chicken feet. Maybe you'll see a balut egg. And maybe you'll be brave enough to try it. Or maybe you'll just run away. Either way, welcome to Vietnam. And if you want to see more real, everyday Vietnamese food and life, I'll see you in the next video.